Today we're going to talk about Reader's Theater. The purpose of Reader's Theater is so that we learn to read fluently. Now, I know a lot of you have heard the word fluent, but don't really understand what that means. When we read fluently, we not only read the words correctly, we also make sure that we're attending to the punctuation, our periods, our exclamation marks, our commas. We're pacing ourselves. We're not reading as if we're in a marathon. First one finished is the winner. We're not doing that. We are pacing ourselves. We are putting expression to our reading. We're not reading in a monotone, like I'm going to say these words, and then it'll be the next person's turn. And so one of the ways in which we perfect our fluency is to look at a piece of text enough times that we get to practice that punctuation, the pronunciation, and the pacing. So what we're looking at today is a script that we're going to use in order to perform a Reader's Theater. I chose this script because I asked you to tell me about some of the Black inventors that you know about. You named Garrett Morgan. You named Mr. Carver, I believe that's the peanut guy. And you named Madam C.J. Walker. And so I thought, oh no, there are far more. We need to examine who those people are. The way Reader's Theater is done is that we all have our parts. We all help one another. In other words, in your group, when you see someone struggling with pronunciation, I expect you to help them so that at the end of the day, we have a wonderful, smooth, well-paced, well-expressed dialogue. I'm going to read it for you first before we get in our group and get started. And as a matter of fact, it's not an our group this time. It is our class. So here we go. I hope that we will reclaim our glory days again. Back when we were makers and shakers, creative to no end. We all have a story that is worth an amen. We just need to see from a bigger lens. What would the world be like without Black folk? Now that is a good thought and not a joke. Think along these lines with me, and you will surely see Black people are nifty, I do decree. Inventors, smart as can be. Inventors that look just like me. Now those two lines we would say together. It's called the chorus. When you wake up in the morning and iron your clothes, thank Sarah Boone for the ironing board that it holds. When you iron your fashions, think of Henry Seeley for true. He invented the iron in 1882. You can't start your morning without combing your hair. Walter Salmons invented the comb to help you go out with flair. Speaking of hair with flair, we can't forget Madam C.J. Walker because of course she was the first Black millionaire. You see, our people created patents for things that we needed. Now make it your job to be mindful of the history and keep it. Lloyd P. Ray invented a dustpan out of sheer need. Thomas Stewart invented a mop as a good deed. After the Civil War, more than 100 former slaves invented and patented things to make the world a better place. You heard that Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin, but rumor has it he stole the patent from one of his enslaved men. Inventors, smart as can be, inventors that look just like me. John Albert Burr invented the lawnmower. Before 1889, they used hacksaw. Clothing was made by hand, needle and thread. Elias Howe invented the sewing machine, and handiwork was dead. In 1797, James King invented the scrub board to clean debris. The scrub board was also used to make music and jubilee. Today, black folks are just buyers and consumers. Once upon a time, we were makers and bloomers. Many streets in America are named after MLK. Garrett A. Morgan created the caution light that paved the way. We would be here all day if I really had time to make mention the hundreds of black sisters and brothers with all their inventions. I hope that we will reclaim our glory days again, back when we were makers and shakers, creative to no end. Inventors, smart as can be, inventors that look just like me. And so, the expression that you put into it, will be your groups, but there needs to be expression. There needs to be pacing. As you can see, I took my time. You need to take your time, and you need to pronounce the words clearly. I'll give you an example. If the word is with, I need to hear with. I don't want to hear wit. I want you to take your time with this. And so right now what we're going to do is we're going to come together as a group, and we're going to look at the script together, decide who's going to do what, and begin to practice.